All right. Hi. Thank you for holding the microphone.
Of course.
Can I get, for legal purposes, your name and your title, please?
My name is Lydia Lim, and currently I'm a 6th grade middle school teacher in Georgia.
Awesome. And this is all right to use on the radio and
Yes,
video?
of
Okay,
course.
great. My name is Debbie Lazaga, and I'm from WTMJ Radio, and we are talking here about COYAD, Council of Youth Anti-Drug. Tell me a little bit about the history of the organization.
All right, so I'll talk about a little of the president's mission and background of COYAD. So 30 years ago, he went to Russia as a missionary, and in Russia, he encountered a student where they were under the influence of drugs. And he wondered why, if they're going to school, why are they doing drugs? School is for studying, school is for learning, but why are they involved with drugs? And he asked a parent of that student and asked, how long did it take you to discover that your child was using drugs? And they said, it took me 3 years to learn after the fact that they started using it. And then he asked a classmate of that student, and the classmate said, oh, I knew immediately. I knew right away. So this is where the president's vision came true. He wanted to know why, or what could we do to stop this from happening? Why is there such a big time gap, right? So he thought prevention needs to be key. We need to have these drug prevention clubs in schools, have them involved in schools where that could deter students from being involved with drugs, and also help them to help parents understand, right? And since that time gap takes so long, having that group and networking system and accountability from student to student would be a vision of his. And that's why he's worked on this for over 30 years and has carried it here to the United States.
Now, where did he start off in the United States?
So this originally, we are from Atlanta, Georgia,
Okay.
and we brought this to Milwaukee. And knowing that the community is so strong here in this state, we really believe that Milwaukee can take this and run with it and really build a network of students and leaders in an anti-drug society.
And get them young, basically,
Exactly.
is what you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
here. It's super important. And how has everything been developing? I'm picturing Georgia as being like a few steps ahead of Wisconsin, since we're just starting here.
Mm-hmm.
How has this specific way of prevention been working as opposed to others, for example?
Exactly. So in Georgia right now, we're beyond just the introductory phase. I know right now we're talking the background, how it's become, and spreading the word of COYAD.
Mm-hmm.
But in Georgia right now, people are learning or have learned a little bit more about COYAD. They understand, and they're really taking a stance in their communities, really trying to be camp leaders and have create organizations and clubs in schools where they're telling each other, right, and spreading that word about how we can stay away from drugs and how drug prevention is key. So continuing that, and they're already taking the lead of already having established camp leaders in schools. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. Yeah. And so then I would imagine COVID-19 kind of threw a wrench in the development in Wisconsin.
It did, exactly.
What kind of things are you guys doing in lieu of that?
So we were finding more online opportunities, right? Using Zoom. We did a Korean cooking class demonstration. We were able to do that via Zoom real time, but we knew that we wanted people to still stay involved. Even with this COVID-19 era, we want people to be involved. And today's event, the Korean paper folding, we thought, we could do this through Zoom. Anything could be done via Zoom. That's why we had materials prepared ahead of time, and we were able to give that away before today's event. So just keeping everything online is what we're hoping for.
Okay, so even 5-10 years down the line in Georgia, for example, since you guys are farther ahead in Georgia, what is the final, in a nutshell, what do you want to be able to say, that's it, that's what we're doing?
So we want to establish the camps in all the schools, in public schools, in the high schools and colleges. We want to have even the camp leaders from Milwaukee join us in Atlanta. It's like, hey, we have camp leaders from Milwaukee. They've come from far away. We want them to be here in this event and have featured guests as well, and have those advisors and student leaders and everyone involved in this campaign to be joined together. So making this a statewide thing, but also a countrywide thing, and having everyone in this fight together.
That's great. Is there anything else that I haven't hit on that you think we should point out?
Well, COYAD is based on the 3 C's, right? So it's camp, campaign, and center. And camp is about having leaders, right, in clubs and organizations and schools, right, working in the field and trying to talk about drug prevention education. We have then campaigns, and campaigns are also very important, and that's outreach. Doing events, talking about it, having parents and students and even just community members is key as well. And lastly, we have the centers, and that's where we do the leadership training. Because COYAD is about prevention, but it's also about creating a network of students where we can have leaders in our nation. So that's a small bit of COYAD, but we want to have drug prevention, education, and just have leadership in for our youth.
Excellent. Well, that's all that I have. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.